cool. Bedtime. Why not? break.
I got this!
Awesome.
Hello.
Good night. Cool. Good night. Good time. Why not? Look out! Surprise!
It's mine now.
Look out!
Awesome.
Hey, what's up, man? Hello. Yeah, the only thing they really need to add, they need to add a couple things to this. The first is make the tokens do something after you unlock everything. That was a big complaint with the original version of the game, was that you unlock everything and it just becomes a number. You should totally be able to use them to get, like, buffs or something. It's such an easy thing to fix. I mean, I got like 300 of them now. There's nothing left to use them on. It really should let you just stock up on buffs and make it cost a lot so that you always have a use for them. Because right now, they're kind of pointless. They also need to remove the hazards from this mode, or give you an option to remove them. And make it so that when you beat a wave, they don't still hurt you. Because that's incredibly unfair. The hazards in this are the most annoying. So stupid. I hate it. I hate hazards in anything, but they really suck the fun out of this mode. You can't kill them or turn them off or anything. Like, sucks. I lost Sunny because of the stupid gimmick. I don't know why they didn't copy Street Spore and just like, hey, just turn off the gimmick. It's really unfair how after you beat a wave, they're still active. You can't get away from it. Stupid. I really don't like that part of this mode. Let's just put annoying gimmicks that keep coming back.
Let's get serious.
You can't turn them off and then they kill you. Like, why? Worst it should do is put you to like 1 HP. This mode needs some work, for sure. I don't feel like that was my fault. I really don't feel like that was my fault. I feel like I got cheated by RNG because it decided to spawn those enemies on that map with those gimmicks. I don't know. Hazards are just never fun. I always want to just turn them off in every game. So either you get like really far and you play forever in this mode, or something like that happens and you feel cheated. Because it's like not your fault most of the time. The only good thing about the hazards is they count as special KOs, meaning that
I accept.
they count as special KOs. Just gonna play arcade. I don't feel like getting another run going. That's the other thing too, yeah, is the perks become... You can't buy the perks anymore. That's kind of stupid. Yeah, I forgot about that too. At that point, you're like not even really scaling anymore. It's just like, you just keep playing to play. It's a good mode. It's better than Turtles survival mode by a long shot, but it's unfair level generation, the hazards killing you, the hitboxes still being active after you beat the level, and then having a finite amount of stuff that you can buy is kind of dumb. But they did say they're taking feedback for it, so hopefully they'll fix those things. I think it's got a good foundation, but some stuff about it is really unfair. Like that run I just lost. I'm sure I took some fault of that, but I didn't feel like it was entirely my fault. It's like, nope. You get gun guys standing on top of the spikes. You have to go over and engage, otherwise they kill you and lock you in hit stun. But then there's spikes there, and the spikes hit you anyway. That's why I should just, like, not have hazards. Starting to understand why Smash players turn off, like, 90% of the game to compete. I start to understand it now. After playing this mode. Like, yeah, I get it. Hazards are no fun. They're too random.
I'm awake. That's time.
The thing about Ronzo is, his Azuna drop has a really wonky hitbox, and it doesn't work on, it doesn't OTG. He's a really good character, but they need to fix that as well. Thunder Defeat HD, I know that game. It's not that it's nerfed. It travels a really long distance, and it doesn't OTG. There's certain ways you have to land it. And if you don't do it that way, it's kind of useless.
Let's do this.
That time.
No, there's ways that you can land it, but it's very inconsistent. You're also vulnerable for like an hour if you miss it. It doesn't feel very good to use. But yeah, so they got rid of the hazards in survival mode, or at least made them so you could toggle them off. If they didn't do so much damage, it'd be a lot more fun. But yeah, I still play it. I don't touch turtles. Turtle survival mode is really boring. At least this has builds. best thing about the survival mode is if you actually want to do combos, survival mode is the best way to play because
I'll show you. It's mine now.
they put the version of the bosses that don't tech out. So the gotcha pull hit stun is gone, which is the number one thing I can't stand about this game is instead of making like an actual formula for when they get out, they just kind of do it when they feel like it. It's like you get punished for landing a hit. They don't do that in survival mode. Even when you get to like level 50. they don't do that at all. I can see why they took it out in there, because like with the hazards being as annoying and threatening as they are, you can't have the bosses tech out like that. It'd be far too easy to actually land a hit and do a combo, and then the game punishes you by them bursting, and then you go with the gun guy hits you, or you land into a hazard. Everything falls apart.
Cool.
I'll show you. Awesome.
Good night. Bedtime.
I'll show you. Awesome. Awesome. It's mine now. More from me.
Sure. Blast off. Blast off. Bedtime. Bedtime.
That was not very smart, was it? No, you doofus! I don't really care. I want to put up some 1cc runs of this, but I was playing this while I was doing errands earlier, so it's not a legit run. By the way, if you have a Steam Deck, this is a perfect game to play when you're going to be away from a charger for a long time, because you can get, like, over 5 hours out of this game off a full charge. People complain a lot about the battery life on the Steam Deck. It really depends on what you're playing. I can get, like, 6 hours out of an open BOR game, like Final Fight LNS Ultimate. Get, like, 6.5 hours out of that off full charge. I totally will play that over, like, a Muso game sometimes, because I don't have access to a charger. This is a good game to play if that's what you want.
More from me.
Try to play, like, Grand Theft Auto on it or something, and yeah, it is going to be, like, 90-minute battery life. That's the problem with all the portable PCs. The Steam Deck has really created a new market for that kind of thing, but battery tech is kind of plateaued. So for the games that people want to buy those things for, which is obviously not pixel art indie games like this, they want big AAA stuff, they're kind of useless. Unless you have a power bank or you have some kind of, I don't know, you commute on the train or something. Or you have some kind of job where you can be hooked up to a charger. Pretty useless. I've seen some of the ones that are more powerful than the Steam Deck, and the battery life seems barely any better. Like, the Steam Deck competitors can run Grand Blue Relink at like a lock 60 most of the time, but the battery life is like less than 2 hours. I don't know, for that game that's not that bad, I guess, because
It's mine now.
it's more of a mission-based Monster Hunter type game instead of kind of thing where you're like, you need to find a save point and stop playing, but pretty much anything new in 3D and decent looking, the battery life you can expect like less than 3 hours. That's why Jimmy is broken. Jimmy is secret top tier in this game.
It's mine now.
Everybody says he sucks. The thing about Jimmy is you need to get his run attack mastery, because the bosses don't take out of it. You can combo an entire group of bosses forever and knock them around the screen. It's very satisfying. But if he doesn't get that, he's kind of not great, mostly because he has a grab, and grabs aren't that great in this game. But the new upgrades that make moves invincible, I feel like grapplers would probably be a little bit more viable. They were kind of not great before, because you're stuck in a long animation and you're not given really any benefit for doing it. Yeah, I'm really liking this patch so far. Hopefully they'll fix the survival mode a little bit and get rid of the unfair stuff. Everyone says Jimmy is bad. Just have to play Jimmy like a Binding of Isaac character. He has that one thing that makes him work. And if he get that, he's busted. But if he don't get that, he's like average at best. It's totally an Isaac character. I actually don't think he's that bad without it, but having the ability to get upgrades that make moves invincible. I think for anybody that cares about doing the metagame for this, it's probably quite a bit different now. Anything that was a long animation that you couldn't really use safely, you can use it safely now. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2. None of the portable PCs can run that game well. Even the ones that are like way more powerful than the Steam Deck. And then the battery life is like 2 hours. 2 hours or less. My real life friend said I could game share that game, but I kind of don't want to play it right now because there's like an awesome mod for it being made like every day, and it also still runs like shit.
More from me.
Apparently they've sold 2.5 million copies already, so as much as people rightfully complain about the state of the game, they all still bought it, so nothing's going to change.
Awesome.
They're like, oh, this game looks kind of cool, and then they're like, oh, I have a 14th gen processor and a 4090, and it can't handle being in towns. I'm like, alright, I immediately lost interest. Game is... no one's PC is powerful enough for it. That's the problem. Because they decided that devoting so much processing power to fucking NPCs was a good decision. Instead of doing what video games have done for literal decades and just, like, not put a lot of effort into NPCs because people don't really care about them. It's been like that since, like, the 80s. Look, fucking, like, not Double Dragon, but Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy, they just give them, like, 2 frames of walking animation. Somehow we've deviated from that, and we see the consequences of doing that, which is the game runs like shit. Look, you're not Majora's Mask, alright? You're not gonna get people to care about the NPCs on the level of that game. Stop trying. Especially if it's gonna make your game get review bombed for running terrible on $5,000 computers. It's not worth it. A lot of people think that, like, de-emphasizing the design of NPCs is something that, like, started in, like, the PS1 era. I'm like, no, they've been doing that since the 8-bit era. The Yakuza games have the right approach. You do, like, big budget cutscenes with the best character models for, like, stuff that's important for the main story. For sub-stories, they cheap out. It's like, yeah, you're never gonna see this NPC again. Is it really worth putting all this effort in, making the game take longer to make? No. Definitely are some instances in those games where they kind of don't do that, though. It'll be, like, an important part of the, like, side story or something, and they just do the cheap cutscenes. That's pretty much what the problem with Dynasty Warriors 9's storytelling was.
It's mine now.
Is they're pretty much all, like, take the cheapest Yakuza cutscenes and make, like, dozens of hours of them. They're totally uninteresting to watch. I think what made it worse there was that even if you did care about the story, they already told you that story better in Dynasty Warriors 7 with higher production values. As in, not people just standing around with not even, like, the bare minimum camera work done to make it interesting to watch, like a movie. I always tell people, if you care about the story in Dynasty Warriors, go pick up 7 Definitive Edition on Steam. It's probably going to be the last time they actually tell that story properly and with actual production values. 9, they didn't even try.
More from me.
But yeah, apparently every NPC takes up an insane amount of processing power, which is why people with 14th gen processors that can run, like, way better looking stuff still can't run that game in towns.
Why not? Take a break. Bedtime. Bedtime.
You guys ever seen a Dynasty Warriors 9 cutscene? It's interesting because Star Ocean 5 did that as well, where they had like no money to make that game. So there's a part in Star Ocean 5 where it's hilarious how they basically write their non-existent budget into the story. There's a part where you're on the starship and they get attacked. I don't know the story of the game, but they get attacked by the bad guys, and everybody is panicking, and like it's supposed to be like, you know how on like Star Trek sometimes they didn't have budget to actually do the spaceship fight, so they would just kind of talk and frantically type at the keyboard. That's what they do, but you don't even get the camera work. Like the the visor that shows you outside the spaceship closes, and it's basically like Star Trek if like you were just a cameraman at the top of the set, just filming everybody with no editing. There's no camera work or anything, and it goes on for like 5 minutes. That's basically what Dynasty Warriors 9's storytelling was like. They only had a couple, like, actually pre-rendered cutscenes. I'll play that, I'll try to find that cutscene after I finish this run. I think people will laugh at it. One of those rare instances where they, like, actually write having no money to make the game with, into the story. Streets of Rage 4 is kind of an interesting case of that because, you know, they had voice actors for that. And they actually hired a writer who I actually know in person to write the story to that, but then they didn't voice act the cutscenes, so it's just like, it's just still images. It's like still images with no voice acting. Really weird decision, because they actually tried to put some effort into the storytelling of Streets 4, but the way that it's presented to you is not great, so most people just skip it.
Good night.
Yeah, but it comes at the cost of the game running like garbage. I don't know if that's really worth it. NPCs are just like nondescript characters in video games for a reason. It's always been like a processing power thing. Go back and play the first Dragon Warrior or Final Fantasy. They have like 2 frames of animation. And like 2 things that they can say. Yeah, apparently the engine is like calculating where they're standing and what they're doing at all times, which sounds cool on paper, but they implemented it in a way where, you know, that sounds good when you're like trying to hype up the game, but if it makes it run worse, I don't really think it was worth it. So now people actually care about garbage frame rates now, which is a good thing. But the whole point of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X was to abolish long load times and poor performance, but we're finally getting some exclusive games for those platforms, and they're still running at 30 FPS.
Good night.
Kind of feels like a pointless generation to me. I think the interesting thing about it is that it actually was a pretty good upgrade at the start when they were doing, you know, cross-gen games. And now that they're trying to do exclusives, it just kind of doesn't work anymore.
Hey.
I got this. More from me.
Bedtime.
Welcome to your doom. Up here. Surprise. Up here.
Ah, you bitch. Got out somehow.
Bedtime. Goodbye.
Yeah, I've heard about people
Why not?
massacring the towns to make it
not?
run better.
Mission select. Let's go.
Goodbye.
Hello, thank you.
Goodbye.
They already made a new Battletoads and it sucked. They're probably not going to make another. Or if they do, they get a better team to do it. They already tried that. I've never cared much for Battletoads. The only one I actually enjoyed playing as a kid was the Double Dragon crossover one, because that one was more of a beat-em-up than the others. It really bothers me when people say those games are beat-em-ups. They're not. They're Kaizo platformers with like 10% below average beat-em-up gameplay. They're good games, don't get me wrong. They're not beat-em-ups. The only two ones that even come close to that description is the arcade one, which pretty much no one has played, and then the Double Dragon crossover. Yeah, I had all those games as a kid. I didn't like them that much.
More from me.
I'm awake. Cool.
The Battletoads one just came out at a unfortunate time where they keep getting randos that don't know what makes a beat 'em up good to make them. They still do that a lot, but that game was probably the worst of it. Beat 'em ups are on a really bad decline right now. Post Streets 4, there's like 4 games worth playing. There's this. There's Ninja Warriors once again, which barely counts because that came out before Streets 4. Turtles, just barely. I don't really think Turtles is a great game mechanically. Final Vendetta, that's it. Publishers have realized they can make these games for cheap, and people only expect like 90-minute runtime. So they're making cheap cash-ins, just like they did when I was a kid. Doing the exact same thing they did when I was a kid. Even as a child, you could tell the difference between like Turtles in Time and the Alien vs. Predator on Super Nintendo. Not the arcade one. Super Nintendo one. That game is garbage. They're back on the decline again after a pretty big resurgence.
More from me.
None of them are dead somehow. They're all still alive somehow. I don't know how. Now they're dying. Sucks.
Why not?
This is not the best team. Finally, he's dead.
Good night.
this myself.
Finally!
More for me.
Goodbye.
Fuck! Hate the random hits done in this game. Just get out with a combo whenever I feel like it.
Goodbye.
Unfair. Should like not do this boss sometimes. He's not fun to fight. Walks through everything. Decides to ignore hit stun.
Good night.
Oh, come on! This fucking boss is no fun to fight. Stay in the combo. How many times did he tech out there? Like 30? Just fucking die, dude. That's what I hate about this game. I wish they had taken that out in this patch. You land a hit and get punished because they just decide to ignore being in hit stun. You can't do that. You need a full bar to do that. AI can just do it whenever. Like, nah, I don't feel like being in hit stun, sorry. Let's take, the worst thing about bosses in Tales games. Tales bosses do that shit too, instead of having an actual hit stun mechanic or system to like prevent you from comboing them forever. They just kind of get out when they feel like it. That was a pretty decent run though. That was a 1cc until the end. Kinda had some bullshit happen there, but I don't really care. I wasn't recording the whole thing anyway. I did half of the run while I was out running errands earlier. So nothing to really get upset about. Yeah, that shit's annoying, though. Gotcha pull, hit stun. No one likes that about this game, and they don't take it out. Like, everyone hates it, but they keep it in the game anyway. I don't know why. If they're going to tech out, there should be a formula. Should be a formula for it, and they shouldn't be able to do an attack out of it that takes off like half your health. Let's play with him for a bit.
Let's get serious.
Roaring Dragon!
Oh yeah, I was going to show that Star Ocean 5 cutscene. Let me try to find it. Give me a moment. I like don't have it bookmarked, but you guys want to see a laugh? Let me see if I can find it. Give me a sec. I think I'm gonna play something else anyway, because I've played that a lot the past few days. Let me see if I can find it. Alright, I'm looking. I found a cutscene movie. I hope I can find it. Oh, I think I found it. Ah, yeah, I found it. Alright. Music. Let's see some really bad production values.
Four of them. Why would they think they need so many?
Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Kronos fleet.
Put them on screen.
Greetings. This is President Mutal of the Central Kronos government.
The president?
Huh?
Wait, why would their president
He
be
can't
here?
be serious. It's my distinct pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. President. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Emerson T. Kenny, and I'm the captain of this humble Pan-Galactic Federation vessel, the Charles de Gaulle.
It's an honor to meet you, Captain Kenny.
Oh, no, sir. I assure you, the honor's all mine. If you don't mind me asking, Mr. President, what is it that has brought you to this frontier?
Let's get right down to business. Certain high-ranking officials in our military have terminated contact with us.
The memes will start
Despite our
soon.
numerous
Have a little
attempts,
patience.
We still have not successfully
Maybe I
reached
could skip ahead a little bit.
You mean General Alma?
Well then, I see you're already privy to some of the details. Let me be clear.
Okay,
We
yeah, I need
have
to
no
skip ahead.
intent-
What's the damage for both sides?
Our shields deflected the entirety of the attack. No damage to report.
One governmental warship has been destroyed. Another has taken heavy damage.
And you can't see any of this at all. There's no camera work or anything.
Should we pull back and rethink our strategy?
As a soldier, you should know that giving the enemy more time here would be fatal. We can't withdraw now.
Maybe so, but continuing to fight would only increase our losses.
Excuse me, Captain. If I may.
I know that, but it doesn't matter.
We'll have to go right for General Alma then. Feria's the only thing fueling their resistance. Therefore, if we defeat Alma and get her back, they'll lose their reason to fight.
That's easier said than done. Alma's most likely barking orders from the safety of their base, situated on that large asteroid. The shield around it will make an approach impossible.
Actually, it just might be feasible. While we were traveling to this sector, I was able to analyze a portion of the data on space-time symbology we accumulated. I theorize that if Relia were to use her power, we could manipulate space-time in such a way that it neutralizes their shield. With practice, it could likely even disable the whole thing. Her current skills, however, should suffice. We can likely still negate a large enough portion of the shield to pass through. In
This
short,
chick right
going after
here
Alma directly
has
is
a
far within the
horrifying
realm of
face.
possibility.
It's like she has like a
I don't
Picasso
know if
face.
I can control my powers well enough.
I'll offer what support I can by analyzing her psi waves.
Come on, Relia.
Start will neutralize the...
Emerson, please get us ready to infiltrate.
Star Ocean 5 had like a non-existent budget. 6 wasn't as bad. I did play 6 recently. 6 definitely had more money put into it, but definitely at the end they still ran out of money, which I mean is not unusual for a JRPG. That almost always happens. Even the really big ones, they run out of money at the end. I've played a non-zero amount of JRPGs where like the production values stay pretty good until the end, and then like the final dungeon is just a boss rush. They didn't even make a dungeon. Tales of Xillia 1 was like that. It was pretty much just run in a straight line. They stopped trying. Xillia 2 is pretty much just it would be a straight line, but that game, they added like a roguelike final dungeon where you can't avoid any enemies because you walk on really tight or small areas of land. That was a pretty cheap dungeon too. They made like 2 assets, and they just made recolors of all the enemies, and then they put them in a really small area so you can't avoid fighting them, just to get like another hour of game time out of you, even though it's not fun or engaging. Star Ocean 6 final dungeon was kind of like that too. A lot of really arbitrary padding, just to make you play the game longer. I kind of like actually don't mind when they don't have final dungeons in JRPGs, because a lot of the times they're like not fun. You're kind of checked out at that point. It depends on how it's designed. Tales of Destiny remake, Diecroft, is pretty exhausting. It's a lot of puzzles, and it's like multiple hours long on a casual playthrough. Tales of Berseria had a pretty big final dungeon, but it was mostly just big because they make you run like an obese smoker in that game. It takes forever to get anywhere. That's the only thing that makes it long. You move so damn slow.
来ましたか。いつかあなたに会えなくなったら寂しくなるかも。
Star Ocean 6 production values were pretty good until the end, I would say. It definitely could tell that they had more budget. Square gave them more budget. But yeah, the star part of Star Ocean 6 is like non-existent. You get a couple small areas and then like a VR final dungeon, and that's it. The game was more medieval than space, even more so than the other games. Kind of just ended. I think the thing that bothered me about that game the most was the movesets were like really small. They actually let you like combo bosses and stuff, but you only had like 9 moves per character, and a lot of them didn't even chain together, so it kind of devolved into just spamming the same moves like every other Star Ocean game. It wasn't very engaging. It's cool that they tried to make it a little bit more involved, but I think the budgetary constraints really got in the way. Also, the gear system was terrible, too. The gear system was worse than a gacha, worse than what I'm playing right now. I remember how many hours of my playthrough of that game was save scumming? I don't understand why they design single-player games like that. You know, you're not doing microtransaction support like this game. Like, why even do shit like that? Doesn't make any sense. Like, why make the rates that bad unless it's like a gacha game where you're making money off people and trying to make people frustrated so they spend money for a shortcut. But, you know, the game didn't have anything like that. It was a one-time purchase. But then the rates to get the gear that you wanted was awful. I still don't understand the reasoning behind that. You know, these kind of games do that because they play into your lack of patience. You know, because you can't get everything in these games by not spending money. It's just going to take a lot longer. The whole point is to make it so that you get impatient and you spend money. But then, like, Star Ocean 6 had worse rates to get stuff than this. You spend hours and hours trying to get just one thing. I don't know. I don't understand that kind of design. It doesn't benefit anybody. It just makes people want to cheat. And you're not being predatory and making it microtransactions either, so like, I don't get it. The Star Ocean 2 remake had the same problem. Save scumming endlessly to get gear. It's like, why? Just give me like an actual challenging thing to do to get it guaranteed. I started cheating my gear in both those games towards the end. I'm like, this isn't engaging. I'm resetting a menu over and over to get one thing. Hey, you're just not gonna give me witch time, are you? Bad luck. I hate playing as her because she's so orb-dependent. RNG. Okay, there we go. Now I can play the game. The worst playing character in this game is her. She's horrible to play as. I can't wait till she gets her rework. It's awful to play. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. The only good thing about her is she has time stop. That's it. Awful to play. Actively loathe playing as her. I don't like playing as this team at all, really. Dark and Ice are kind of the weakest teams right now. till we get Lamia. I don't really care about my score with them. It's just not fun to play. Ice is barely any better either. Ice has 1 Generation 2 attacker or character. Alright.
わかりました。
勝たなければ無意味です。予想通りの攻撃ですね。落ち着いて考えましょう。
自由に創作を始めます。私の神髄見せてあげる。キャンバス準備完了。咲き誇りなさい。この色で未来を塗り替える。私の一番の翼です。見てください。天才的なタッチ。
落ち着いて考えます。予想通りの攻撃ですね。この一撃で勝利への道を切り開きます。
インスピレーションエクスプキャンバス準備完了。この色で未来を塗り替える。私の指揮官の翼私の刃になってください。
勝たなければ無意味です。私の視界の外、落ち着いて考えましょう。
切り開きます。自由に創作を始めましょう。キャンバス準備完了。この色で未来を塗り替える。私の指揮官の翼退きなさい。先人のカラスバ天才的なタッチ。
予想通りこの一撃で勝利への道を切り開きます。
私の神髄見せてあげる。キャンバス準備完了。
見つけましたよ。
この色で未来を塗り替える。私の指揮官の翼ガラスマよ。私の刃になってください。
見つけましたよ。
これが最後の戦いだといいですね。指揮官。
このコンチェルトの
He's ready for more resets because Dark Karen is shit to play. Worst S rank, worst Generation 2 S rank, right here. Awful to play. I probably should reset this, honestly. It's not fun to play, and also too much RNG. Alright, good start.
こ見てんだよ全部消え失せろヌヌエットの時間ですわたし邪魔だカデンサご清聴ありがとうございましたこの曲が私たちの望む未来を響かせますように
This character I'm complaining about actually just got a buff on the CN server. Make her not so bad to play. But we're not getting that for a year, so another year of suffering. Global's about a year behind. A little more than a year, I think. I don't remember the exact amount of time, but... Yeah, no one likes playing as this character. She's a necessary evil, though. You kind of have to play as her. They didn't design her very well. Fucking A, man. I hate playing this team. I just want to be done as soon as possible. It's only 2-3 pinks. Now he's being a dick and hitting nothing in the corner. Testing out his hitboxes and frame data, I guess. Another only 2 ping. 2-3 pings. I need 3 pings. Triple 3 ping. Of course it gives me a yellow. Gives me a yellow after I already do it, which doesn't count. Son of a bitch. It's what everybody does with this character, by the way. You have to. She's like your main burst damage. Alright, thank you. Now I can play the game. It only took like 6 attempts. I'm just gonna take whatever I get with this. I don't care. Karen's like one of the first Gen 2 characters, and she's the worst to play. Funny how that works out. Apparently the developers agree because they're giving her a complete overhaul on the CN server. She's not water torture to play. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this. I don't care. I can optimize my characters a little bit. It'll help marginally, but I just don't like playing as them, so I don't really care about the meta that much. I care about the meta if they're fun to play, like Alpha and Yoga, Hyperreal. I enjoy playing them. These characters, not so much. There's a couple more patches until we get Lamia, then won't be Karen pulling all the weight anymore. Okay, Jamada. I don't care. I'm taking it. Dark team and ice team need some help. That's not bad. 1.5. That's all that matters. I'm not going to compete with the beluga whales anyway. Alright. I gotta do this. I do really like that about Aether Gazer, the other gacha I play, is that they actually, they fast-track the updates to us. Like, for instance, Aether Gazer did not have controller support at launch. They added it several months later. But when they launched it over here, they gave us that from day one. I'm like, that's really cool. People are going to complain about it, so why not fast-track the update instead of getting a bunch of bad reviews for being called out about, like, not having good functionality. That's actually really cool. I remember when I played the launch of this, the launch week. It's like, wow, it's really cool that they just have that already. You don't have to wait, like, an arbitrary amount of time. Obviously, you can't, like, speed up the character releases too much, because that's very unfriendly to people that don't spend money. But, like, quality of life stuff, you should totally just give us that sooner. Because it just makes the game better. Yeah, it's kind of one of the downsides of playing PGR and Global, is that, like, the meta's been decided for over a year prior to what we currently have. So it's not really fun pulling for characters sometimes, because you already know that they're meta or off meta. They're not worth it. Let me see what else I had to do on this game. I think it was just finish the battle pass.
君のために力を振るおうか。
ここだよ。くよ。どうしたの？ぼーっとしちゃって。早く行こう。目標発見。 サクッと消しちゃうよ。バカ動きが見え見えだよ。おじさんこっちら。それバスケットキック。そりゃほい。猫は怒らせるとヤバいよ。横になってね。ほい。はいや。動きが見え見えだよ。そこでにゃにゃバスケットキック。いくよ。どうしたの？ぼーっとしちゃって。早く行こう。いくよ。そりゃほい。ゴーゴーレッツゴー。ほい。おやすみ。はいや。それバスケットキック。バスケットキック。いくよ。そりゃほい。バスケットキック。ゴーゴーレッツゴー。時には強引。
世界を終わらせるのはこの私です。
はい、動きが見え見えだよ。にゃにゃバスケットキック。動きが見え見えだよ。
これこそが進化です。
それ
身の程を決めなさい。
ミッションスタート。子猫ちゃん、そっちは任せても。オッケー。
己の無力さを思い知るがいい。
さあさあついてきて。ゴーゴーレッツゴー。はいや。バスケットキック。時には強引。はいよっと。くるっと決め。
身の程を決めなさい。
くるみ。
バカだ。
はいや。
世界を終わらせるのはこの私です。
さあさあついてきて。
所詮
うしたの？ぼーっとしちゃって。早く行こう。キャット、いくよ。それゴーゴーレッツゴー。はい、時はゴーインテイバスケットキック。おやすみ。バスケットキック。くるりん。はいや。動きが見え見えだよ。動きが見え見えだよ。バスケットキック。心配ないない。バスケットキック。おじさんこちら。
This is BlueStacks X. Android 11. Whatever the best one is. Hello, by the way. Yeah, this is BlueStacks X. Why? Why do you ask? It's whatever the latest one is. I only use it for stuff that doesn't have a PC port. This game's getting a PC port soon. How's the quality for this, by the way? I'm going to assume it's worse than the native stuff that I play, because it's on an emulator. It's 120 FPS for me. I don't know how it is for you guys. Got the high frame rate mode turned on. Well, with Android emulation, it's a lot like Yuzu. Yuzu is very CPU intensive, so I don't know why you would do this, but like for instance, if you had like a 4090 and then like a 7th gen processor, it wouldn't run as well as if you had what I have, which I have a 12th gen processor and a 3070. You need a good processor for emulation of modern stuff. So anything from like PS3 and newer, you need a pretty good processor. Which is why the Steam Deck can do like it can do some PS3 games. And it can do some Switch games, but then like some stuff doesn't really run that much better. There's some stuff that runs objectively better. But yeah, processor is going to be like the biggest factor in whether it like runs better. So gotta have to keep that in mind. Steam Deck can run stuff up to the Switch, but whether it's actually better than the Switch, Your mileage may vary. PS3 could run... It can run most stuff pretty well. But the competing portable PCs can run pretty much all the PS3 stuff perfectly from what I've seen. No, I don't have them, so I just go on what I've seen from other channels, but... there's a term called Android kids. People that don't have, like, a console or a computer, and they harass the shit out of the emulation developers, or, like, the game runs poorly, and it's like, well, it's because your phone sucks. Now, the Aether XX2 developer turned out to be an asshole, eventually, but I did like how he just told people, like, dude, your phone sucks. You can't expect to emulate, like, a modern console with a weak phone. That's just brutal honesty. You can't expect that. You need to have a good processor. If you do not have a good processor, you shouldn't be emulating stuff like that. It's happening a lot with the Vita. Vita 3K has an Android version, and the Discord is like almost always people like, the game doesn't run well, and it's like, and then they have like a 8-year-old phone. It's like, what do you expect? You're emulating something that came out in the last decade, so it's going to be a lot harder to run. That's why I upgraded my processor, so I don't have those problems. Can run pretty much anything fine unless it's a really bad port. Like Dragon's Dogma 2 is a good example. And I get it. I'm not rich myself. I barely scrape by every month. But you know, I took the initiative to upgrade my computer. You can't expect your hardware to last forever. That's just the reality of it. But there's a lot of people that think that their computer is, or their phone is invincible. It's like, it's not. Depends on what you're trying to do with it. It's already kind of pushing it to emulate PS2 on the phone. And now they have like a whole Switch emulator. And from what I've seen, it doesn't run much better than the actual Switch. It seems kind of pointless. Unless you have like a top-of-the-line phone, the performance is not much better. I'm like, might as well just get an actual Switch at that point. It's not even an Android kid situation. It's like, you have the money to get a phone that can run the games better than the Switch. You might as well just have a Switch already. Clearly, money is not an object. I don't anymore, no. I used to. I stopped gaming on my phone because I got a Steam Deck. I stopped doing mobile stuff completely. I play it on computer. I used to, but my phone is in really bad shape. The charging port is dying, and also the battery health is really bad, so I kind of don't want to game on it anymore because I need the phone for more important things like using rideshare to get home and stuff. That's a lot more important than playing video games. But yeah, my next phone will probably be a cheapo one just because I don't really care about the gaming aspect anymore. Steam Deck has replaced all the mobile gaming. And my PC is good enough to emulate, as you can see.
動きが見え見えだよ。それ一応頑張る。くるっと決め。おじさんこっちだ。そこでくるりん。動きが見え見えだよ。バンゴーゴー。
You have a Snapdragon 865 processor. It's good enough for everything up to PS2, generally. That's pretty much like the main goal you want. If you want to, you want to do high-end stuff on your phone, you need like at least an 865 processor. Anything less than that is really pushing it. And that can do up to PS2. It can do like indie Switch games as well. Quite a bit better than the real hardware. But like if you want to play like Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, then you need a really beefy phone, and I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose at that point. Like the Switch screen is bigger, the controls are bigger, and you have a separate battery from your phone, meaning important stuff like talking to people and using the internet and using Uber and stuff is like stuck on the phone. Yeah, my phone is strictly for adult functionality now. I don't use it for gaming anymore. The battery health is like under 70% already, so it drains in a couple hours. I need to get a new one, just don't have the money. Steam Deck is nice. You just have to understand that the battery life is pretty bad if you want to play modern stuff, you know, like brand new games. You want to play like brand new AAA games, I'd argue it's not worth it, because the battery life is like sometimes under 2 hours. I'm not exaggerating. It'd be like 90 minutes. It depends on the kinds of games you want to play, your expectations with it as well. Like, I play mostly smaller games like this, right? I don't play a lot of really big demanding games, and if I do, I just play them at home. But like pretty much all the portable PCs, you need to have a certain lifestyle, meaning you have time to play away from home. And then also the kinds of games that you play really matter too. You play mostly like mid-graphics games, you know, stuff that's like not super intensive. It's good. It runs a lot of games better than the Switch. It runs a decent amount of games better than the PS4 as well. It really depends on what you throw at it, but the battery life is kind of ass for playing modern 3D stuff, even if it runs well. Like some of the Muso games I play can get like maybe 3 hours battery life tops. But then like if I play like Double Dragon, the game I was playing at the beginning of the stream, or some other indie games, I can get like 6 hours of battery life, which is way better than the Switch. Because like the frame rate is like a lock 60, and then the battery life is like twice as long. People have unrealistic expectations when they get a Steam Deck. If you're a normie and you only play like big popular stuff, it's not worth it. Unless you want to have a power bank around, or you have some kind of job or commute where you're close to an outlet, then it's worth it. The handheld gaming is really weird right now because, like, there's already ones that are way more powerful than the Steam Deck. Like, they can run, like, new games. That's like non-open world new games at, like, 60 FPS, but the battery life is not much better. It's like 2 hours at best, which, for a functional adult, is a shitty amount of battery life. That's like barely acceptable. That's like barely your lunch break in the commute home. If you just play that game. I find that to be functionally useless. Like, the batteries that we put in our mobile devices, the tech for those, like, hasn't really improved that much. The processing power in the GPUs and those things is improving at a way higher rate than the battery is, so... Now for me, I play a lot of smaller games, so I can generally get minimum 3 hours out of most of the stuff I play, but most people buy those, they want to play AAA games on the go, and it's just unrealistic. I feel like if you're on the go enough to actually want one of those things, sub 2 hour battery life is kind of useless. It's either charge up your power bank before you go on a trip or your commute, or learn how to have more taste in video games and not want just AAA stuff. That's definitely a big part of it. I have games on my Steam Deck, like emulators and stuff. I can get like an entire equivalent of an entire workday out of that. Like if I was not home for 8 hours and I didn't have a charger, I could play those emulators for like 8 hours. But like if I tried to play something like this, it'd probably be like 3 hours or less. Well, there's some people that have, there's some people that have a lot of time at home, and they actually use their Steam Deck because their partners or kids are using the TV. But, I don't know. Oh, of course it's an option, yeah. Like, I work at my neighbor's house, right? I have, right next to the recliner where I sit with the cats, there's a charger, so while I'm working over there, the battery life's not an issue. And even then, I have a high-end power bank that I use. So you can get, like, a lot of the best power banks, you can get, like, 2 full charges out of it, so if you're playing a big AAA game, you can still get, like, probably 6 hours out of a full charge, if you really wanted to. Yeah, if you turn the power draw on and you're playing, like, really old stuff like PS1 and, like, arcade games and anything before that, you can get, like, maybe 6.5 hours off a full charge. Once you start getting into PS2 areas, I think it's considerably less, which is to be expected. But yeah, people get those things just to play, like, AAA games, and they get disappointed. It's like, well, can't even really blame the people that are the companies that make those things, because it's the battery developer engineers that are slacking. They haven't found a way to put more juice in those batteries, so you try to play intensive stuff, the battery life is worse than the Switch in every way.
キャットいくよ。
The advertising is accurate. It can play modern games, and like if the game has a Switch ports, whether it's indie or you know a larger budget game, it always runs better than the Switch, like hands down. But the battery life is often a lot worse than the Switch, so depends on how much that matters to you. Like I have a pretty high-end power bank. I can get 2 full charges out of, well, technically 3 charges. If I leave the house with a full charge and I bring my power bank, I technically have 3 full charges. So, if I wanted to play a big 3D game, I could do it pretty much until I got home. But you don't have a power bank or access to an outlet, then you might not want to do that. It depends. It should work, yeah. It should work. You can go look up the competing Steam Deck PCs, and there's people running Dragon's Dogma 2 on it, and it doesn't run much better than the Steam Deck, and the battery life is like barely 2 hours. That game is kind of not a good example though, because that game runs like shit on home computers, but it's a good estimate of the battery life you should expect playing a big game like that. Like, I think they're waiting to make the successor to the Steam Deck 2 until the battery tech is a lot better, because they can make it a lot more powerful already, but the battery life won't be much better. And the thing can already run, like, emulation-wise, it can already run everything up to the PS2 perfectly, so there's no real reason to upgrade for most people if the battery life's not going to be a lot better. I wouldn't go any higher than 1080, no.
いくよ。
一応聞いて。状況を理解していないようだ。説得はない。
動きが見え見えだよ。バスケットキース。時には強引。
オモピースの秩序。怪我させはしない。
動きが見え見えだよ。
殺役は切る。
来い。動きが見え見えだよ。にゃにゃ。さあさあついてきて。時には強引。動きが見え見えだよ。そりゃほい。
レクイエム。
見え見えだよ。おじさんこっちだ。
状況を理解していないようだ。
動きが見え見えだよ。動きが見え見えだよ。
殺役は切る。全力
動きが見え見えだよ。くるり。動きが見え見えだよ。それ。時には強引。
オモピースの秩序。怪我させはしない。
いや。バスケットキック。そのまま横になってね。
殺役は
バスケットキック。動きが見え見えだよ。動きが見え見えだよ。動きが見え見えだよ。バスゴーゴーレッツゴー。そりゃほい。さあさあ
App Store, Google Play.
時には強引。
Sorry, it's kind of hard to look at chat while I'm playing this. Have to have a little patience.
バスケットキック。
全力の桁。
早く見つけて。
無駄なあがきよ。どこね。
殺役は切る。
動きが見え見えだよ。それ。くるっと決め。ゴーゴーレッツゴー。時には強引。動きが見え見えだよ。バスケットキック。
血のりはこちらにあります。
動きが見え見えだよ。
Yes, use Google Play and then sync it to your Google accounts, and you should have access to everything. Unless you're doing foreign games or something, should all be on Google Play. Alright. It's 1 in the morning. I don't know how much longer I feel like playing stuff. Actually, I had one thing I wanted to do. Let me, let's go do that really quick. I already did all my gacha games, and I played, played Double Dragon tonight, too. That's well beyond, anything I know about. Sorry. That's, well beyond my knowledge. I can't help you there. I see what's wrong here. Guys want to guess what's wrong? It's because the emulator is running at 120 FPS. That's why. I don't feel like fixing that right now. But yeah, I just dumped my copy of that. Just dumped my copy of that so I could have it permanently backed up, because they don't have a PC version of that ROM dump. It's only on Switch. So I wanted to make my own PC port. You have to go into the options and fix that. Get their food and things. To further answer your question, you have to go into the settings and make sure that the controller is enabled. And then you have to make sure that the game will detect it. And then if the game has native controller supports, then that's all you need to do. If the game does not have native controller supports, then you'll have to map it yourself. But the game I was just playing on BlueStacks has native support, so you should be able to remap everything from in the game itself. Well, Dynasty Warriors 9 does not have a native PS5 version, so you'd be playing PS4 on PS5. I haven't really looked into that because I don't have a PS5. My newest console is the Switch, and for PS4 I just have a base one. So I'm mostly a PC gamer. So I know that it has a 60 FPS mode, so if you play PS4 version on PS5, it should run. I don't know if the resolution's going to be good though. I think so. I don't have a PS5, man. I can't answer your question. I don't have one, man. The only stuff I get on console is exclusives. Other than that, I'm purely PC and Steam Deck gamer. The PC port is like Arkham Knight in that it ran really bad at launch. They did fix it a little bit over time, but it mostly got fixed by just computer parts getting better, which is exactly what happened with Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight, they stopped selling because it ran like shit on like the best hardware at the time. And they did fix it a little bit, but it runs fine now. I mean, even the Steam Deck can run it better than it was at launch. But that's why I have the term weeb trash Arkham Knights. That refers to like niche Japanese games like Dynasty Warriors 9 and Wolong that run worse than Arkham Knight, but they don't get as much press because they're not, as popular games. There's a lot of games like that. East 8 in particular was like that, with the stuttering and the crashes and stuff. It's like barely playable. But, it didn't get as much attention because it's not as popular as Batman. But yeah, there's a lot of games like that, but you gotta look at the date of those reviews. I would show you the game right now, but I don't have it installed currently. But yeah, it runs fine now. 9 Empires, I think, is quite a bit of a better port. So that should run just fine. Yeah, a lot of the early Koei Tecmo ports were actually the PS3 or like even the Vita version. Like Pirate Warriors 3, I think, looks a lot better on PS4 than it does on PC. And also the PC port of Pirate Warriors 3 is terrible. It's like your controller stops working randomly. Pretty embarrassing. gotten a lot better with their ports. No, that's false. That is false. No, that is false. Maxed out PC version of Dynasty Warriors 9 actually looks really nice. Especially the character models. That's false. I know it's fun to rag on their ports, but have you seen the max settings Dynasty Warriors 9? It actually looks pretty good. For that kind of game, it looks good. It's still not like AAA graphics, but way better than PS4. I can guarantee you that. I don't have it installed right now, unfortunately. I'd love to show you, but I don't have it. I don't have it downloaded right now. No, I'm pretty sure you can go higher. I'm pretty sure you can go higher. The PC version should be fine now. It should be fine. Hold on a minute. I'm having a brain fart right now. There we go. I got Megaton Musashi on the Switch. And I'm making a PC port right now, so I'll just talk to you guys for a bit. It's probably going to take a while. Well, yeah, you can ask me questions if you want. Doesn't have a progress bar, so I don't know how long this will take, but it's the last thing I want to do tonight is get this out of the way. Yeah, the PC version is fine now. It really is weeb trash Arkham Knights. Mostly was improved by the fact that just the hardware is better than what was available at launch. I could barely run it when that game came out. And they did do some fixes. Maybe they didn't fix it as much as they should, but they did fix it. For what it's worth, Nine Empires is a much better port. But at the same time, it's capped at 60 FPS, so if you have a PS5, you can probably get the game for way cheaper. Because Koei Tecmo Muso games are kind of like Pokemon in a way, in that they don't get steep discounts. Now, the difference between Muso games and Pokemon is that they don't keep their value physically, so you can often get... I've gotten a couple of PS4 Muso games for like $10, $20. Like less than 30. Yeah, it's capped at 60 FPS. So if you have a PS5, I don't see much of a reason. There are some mods for both of the games, but they're kind of minor stuff. Like you can edit the gems and stuff. There isn't like a really big modding scene for those games. So if you care about mods, there are a couple minor mods for them. Like you can go look through my old videos. I did some videos of the couple mods that I got, but yeah, for those games, it's not that big of a difference. Well, I keep telling you, man, I don't have it installed right now. I can't really help you. I don't have it installed right now. Maybe on the next stream I might reinstall it, but right now I don't have it. Can't really answer your question. Yeah, this game is really weird. I should explain what I'm doing right now. I don't know how much you guys know about the Switch scene. I'm updating the game to merge it into one file so that the emulator will take it. But for some reason, this game is like free to play, And the actual file for the game, the main executable for it, is like 400 megs, and the update is like 34 gigs or something. So, this might take a while. I appreciate your patience. Hopefully it'll finish soon. Yeah, that will help. Hey, nice. Funny thing about that game is there was somebody on Reddit complaining about wanting controller support or PC port because your thumb takes up so much of the screen. And I'm like, yeah, that's the problem with all these action gachas, is a lot of them don't have controller support. You have to use third-party programs. Now, the niche stuff like that, they don't care. They either have native controller support or they don't police you for using it. But like Call of Duty Mobile is a good example. If you use Mantis, which is the best way to emulate controller support on an actual phone, they ban you. It's like, don't you realize the problem is that having to use the touchscreen for like an actual decent game, it's awkward. It doesn't work. Like, instead of banning people, why don't you just have official controller support, and then if you care about balance and fairness and the competitive aspect, just put people in a different matchmaking server if they're using a controller. Like, I don't even understand what the problem is, because controllers in like most FPS games already have a ton of auto-aim just to compete with keyboard and mouse if the game has crossplay. But the Call of Duty Mobile developers have their head up their ass or something. I don't play the game, I don't care about it, but I just find it interesting. Like, how is it different from any other game? Most of the popular first-person shooters give you a ton of advantages for playing on controller. Like a ridiculous amount. The game might not tell you what it does. Hey, finished. Alright, cool. That took like 15 minutes. Alright, let's get to the game really quick. Oh, you're welcome. How long is it going to take to get into gameplay? How many cutscenes do I need to skip? Video game? Weird, it's not actually 60 FPS. What the heck? Oops. It's not working. Well, that was a waste of time. It says it's 60, but it's like all choppy for some reason. I don't know why. Let me try Ryu really quick. Shouldn't take that long. Wanted to try that game because it's coming to PC in like 2 weeks, but alright, let's try it in here. Alright, where is it? Or it can just crash. It's totally cool. Just crash on me? Alright. Cool. No, I don't want to update right now. Try to load this game, it just crashes. What the hell, man? Fine, I'll update. It just keeps crashing. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed, folks. Sorry for the build-up. It kind of deflated the hype there, but I'll fix that off stream, and maybe next stream we'll check that game out. Because I don't think they're gonna have a demo for PC, so I kind of want to try the game out before I buy it. And seems like the best way to do it, but I don't know how to fix that. So I'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody. I will be back working at my neighbor's house today, so I'll probably do a kitty sitting stream if nothing else. I'll see you guys later. Good night.